with Tracy in LA. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to my podcast, Dance Journey. Today, we have Sarina Lowe. Hi. We were laughing so much before we turned the camera on because we just took Denise Leitner's class at Hama's Dance Center, and we weren't sure how to pronounce her last name. So Sarina's I'll just Google it. I'll just look it up on YouTube. We listened to multiple pronunciations, and one of them... Actually, every YouTube video was giving us different ways to say it. And what was the best one, Sarina? Can you do it?
Leitner.
I was like, Leitner.
Leitner.
And we were laughing so hard because the accent was so strong and we were trying to imitate it and I was crying. So if I look like I was crying, I was crying just a minute ago. But anyways, we think it's Denise Leitner. I was saying Leitner for a while. Anyways, we took her jazz class at Hama's Dance Center. That was my first time taking her. How long have you been taking her for?
I've been taking her class for about 10 years now.
Wow.
Yeah, I met her when I was like 14, 15.
Wow.
And started taking way back at like the OG edge.
Whoa.
Yeah. So.
That's crazy. Yeah, it definitely has a vibe in the room that like a lot of people have taken her for a very long time. Like she has a strong following.
Yeah.
I mean, to be able to post her class 2 days before or the day before, because it's kind of a pop-up situation, and to have that many people show up, I mean,
it was a packed class.
That was a packed class.
Yeah, it was a packed class.
I've never taken her before, and I stood sort of near the front only because I like to be able to see, and it seemed like it was maybe going to be a small class, so I was like, I'm fine kind of standing up here. And then it was like a packed class, and then I was in the front. And it was a warm-up where, like, everybody knows the warm-up because there was, like, a lot of flowing movement, and most people in the class, like, know it because they've been taking her for so long. And I'm in the very front, and I've never done it before, and I was like, I should not be standing here.
That's the energy, though, you know?
Yeah. It was fine because I had Sarina knowing everything right next to me that I could look at, and then I had Joanne on the other side of me who was kind of leading the warm-up, and I was just staring at her the whole time, and I was like, Tracy, don't mess it up. People are, like, behind you. So it was good. I actually really liked that warm-up.
I love her warm-up. Like, that's what I really miss about, like, dance classes is, like, the good old-fashioned, like, warm-up, you know? Long, where we, like, do technique, do abs, do strengthening, stretch, and it's, like, more... Her warm-up is, like, more of a dance.
Yeah.
Kind of. Like, more of a, like...
Like, dynamic.
Yeah.
It's like a dynamic warm-up. Mm-hmm. It's not a lot of, like, stay in this exact... set strict position. It's like a lot of technique, but it's within movement, which was really fun and sweat inducing.
If you're not sweating at the end of that warm-up, then like oh my gosh, you're gonna be sweating so much.
I asked Sarina right before, how's the warm-up? She's like, it's you're gonna be sweating. I was like, yes, I definitely was. I absolutely loved that class. I loved the combo. Good. And Sarina told me that it was gonna be, she was like, you're going to like it. It always feels, her combos always feel good. And I'm like, I don't know. Sarina's if you don't know Sarina or haven't seen any of her videos, she's a very good dancer, very technical, very ballet. And I'm like, I'm sure it feels good to you, Sarina. I don't know if it's going to feel good to me, but actually it did. It was a really nice, feel good combo. And she, at the beginning, I felt like she was teaching it a little fast. I was like, oh no, am I going to be able to keep up? But then she like has you do it so many times. Yeah. She puts you in kind of smaller-ish groups right away and just has you go and go and go. And she's like really nice about being like, do you guys need another round of that? So actually it was like a really nice pace. I didn't feel like she taught overly fast or anything like that.
I do like how long we do the combos for.
Yeah.
Because like I feel like it's always like rush to film, rush to do this, rush to learn the combo. But, like, I feel like, like you said with her, it's like we start off with small groups in, like, the very beginning. And it's nice to just at least get that very beginning, like, in your body before you, like, do the rest of it. Yeah. And then you go into groups and it's like, oh, I haven't even done it full out yet. Like, but
especially in, like, a packed class, you're really not doing it full out until you have a smaller group. So that was really nice because it's that type of, it was a jazz, the class was called jazz, but I mean, it feels kind of lyrical.
Yeah, her classes are always more like lyrical.
Yeah. I mean, all of that stuff kind of crosses over, but it was such a fun thing to do full out. And then that one turn, this was going to say earlier, I was trying to save it for the podcast, the one inside turn into like,
like passe,
your leg coming out.
Arabesque.
Yeah. Like that was, I was struggling with that for a while, and I realized why I was struggling was because I wasn't sure what to do with my arms. I was like, do my arms just go up right away when I'm turning, or what do they do? But then I kind of I made up something for myself,
Yeah,
and it
I
seemed
think,
to work.
I think that's what Denise's class is also about. She's like, not like, arms are here, it needs to be like this, it needs to be like that. It's more just like, do what feels good for you. Like, kind of just do it, which is like rare.
A couple people were like, what are the arms on this? And she was like,
here.
she kind of just like made it up, or was like, whatever you want.
Yeah.
But at the same time, she was still like, she still cared about the movement and would correct us on things or tell us how to do it better. But a lot of times with the arms, it was a little bit like, whatever you feel, which is really nice because you just get to really feel it.
Yeah.
And I liked her encouragement to like hold certain moves longer and like feel them longer, because that's one of my issues is I rush it a lot because I just want to not forget. I'm like, I just want to do the next move before I forget it. So it was nice to have that encouragement to just sit in that. And so I haven't watched a video of myself yet, so I don't know if I did that or not, but I was thinking about it.
Yeah, no, you did it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Sarina's very nice. So that was, did you have anything else you wanted to say about that class?
It was just a feel-good class. Like, every time I take her class, I'm always just like, I'm never like annoyed or like, I don't know, I'm never like, oh, I did so bad in the class, even if I wasn't like on balance or like didn't have the highest leg or like, you know, I fell out of something. It's always like, well, I got something from that. Like, I was dancing, like I was, you know, doing what I love. That's what her classes always feel like. It's just like this big love community, and it's like so nice to feel.
Did you know a lot of people that were there?
I don't really know anybody.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Even though you've taken her for a long time?
I like see some people, but like I don't really like go up and like talk to people. But like if they talk to me, I'll be like, hey, you know, but like we like make eye contact, but I'm not like, I know your name or anything like that.
Well, that one guy started talking to you, and then you were all chatting with him.
Yeah.
He was also very expressive in the class.
Yeah.
People that are just so comfortable with like expressing that the warm up is difficult, or like that, or that it's like, I'm not sure. I've experienced quite a few people in classes where they're just like, they just like sigh pretty loud.
That.
It kind of makes me giggle. But some people are just like really comfortable with expressing that this movement is creating like a feeling for them or whatever. And so it's kind of funny, but he was pretty expressive. He was a nice guy.
Yeah, no, he was cool.
But transitioning, because that's interesting how you're like, I don't really talk to people. So we actually met in a Cher Flair class, right?
Yeah.
But I think we only actually took her together once, or was it more than that?
It was only one time.
I think it was only once.
Yeah, it was only that one class.
And I don't even know that I remember talking to you in that class. Did I?
It was after class.
What happened? Did we just say hi to each other?
We just said hi,
okay.
And then that was about it.
I literally don't remember. I know I met you there, but I didn't remember actually conversing with you. I just know that we started following each other on Instagram. And then we literally haven't taken another class together till today, right?
Today.
It doesn't. Oh, except for my birthday class.
Yeah, that was fun.
But yeah, like, so Sarina's just been like, I feel like we've just chatted on Instagram, but I feel like she's just so encouraging and funny. I feel like I probably have similar sense of humor as you.
Yeah.
Because I feel like you relate to my humorous posts. And like you'll like say things, or I don't know, I feel like we've bonded, and I'm like, wait a second, we've only taken one class together.
We've only taken one class, or like
I feel like I know you.
Yeah.
But mostly just through Instagram, and I just know that she's an amazing dancer because you did so great. And it was a ballet choreo class, which Cher used to do more of, and maybe she'll bring it back. But I loved those classes.
Those classes were so fun.
That's like my kind of ballet, because she would pick these really fun songs, and she would still do a ton of ballet technique, but she would do it in such a fun way. And I just I really loved those classes. But I was starting to not be able to fit it in my schedule, and then she stopped doing them around the same time. So it worked out. I was like, I don't have FOMO because she's not doing it. But I would sort of like her to bring it back at some point. But yeah, so it was just so fun to like see you in that class and like just, I feel like it was your element. I mean, we'll talk about what your element is, but it felt like your element. Like you have really good technique, and it's really fun to watch you. So, but then even with what a good dancer Sarina is, she still came to my birthday dance class, which is kind of more geared to like beginner, just because like I really want to teach beginner jazz. That's like my dream. I just think it's fun to teach people that have like never done anything or have done very little, or just like want to work on the basics. That's my dream, to teach people like that, because I was like that not even that long ago, like 5 years ago. So I just have a lot in my heart for people at that level. But Sarina was so excited to take my class anyway. I mean, it didn't really I actually did kind of a long combo, so it was actually a little hard.
It was a long combo, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't gear my birthday class quite as much to beginners as I have my other classes, but Sarina was doing like whipping out triple turds and like double PKs and like it looked so cool. I was like, look at Sarina making my choreo look so good. So excuse me, I loved that. So it was like so fun to have you there.
That was fun.
And then we actually did chat in person a
yeah.
bunch, and like I just love chatting with you. And so then I was like, do you want to be on my podcast?
Yeah, why not?
Because I actually already thought of asking you, but sometimes I just wait till the right moment. If any of you are wanting to be on my podcast and you're wondering why hasn't Tracy asked me to be on her podcast, I probably have you on a list, and I probably do want to ask you, or you can always ask me. I just like only have so much time, and sometimes I'm waiting for like the right moment. But there's like so many people, and Sarina was definitely up on the list, and I was so excited that she was like, there was not even like a pause. She's like, yeah, I'm down. I was like, all right. But then the class she really wanted to take for it was Denise's, and Denise mostly does sort of like a pop-up situation. Yeah. So we had to kind of wait till there was one available. So here we are. But yeah, so Sarina, I know a little bit about your dance life, but not a ton. So I want to hear first, like, what is your current weekly dance life look like? What are the things you're doing?
I teach dance at a dance studio. So I teach ballet. So I'm like the ballet director there. I teach ballet in pre-point. So I'm getting the kids up to point shoes and everything, amazing. Which is really fun. So I'm doing that, and then I'm training at home, of course. I'm like, stretching and strengthening what I need to do. And then just taking classes, and then I do have some auditions coming up that I'm doing. I'm trying to get back into the auditions and all of that. It's just a big step to take, but I'm doing it. And I'm getting back there and doing all the auditions and everything. That's so it's awesome. Really just like training and teaching and always like scheduling whatever I can and doing whatever classes I can and whatever auditions that I can do that fit within like my time frame.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So you're teaching ballet. I have seen some of your videos of that. Your kids, it's kids, right?
Yeah, they are
kids. Kids are really cute.
Yeah.
I was looking at your highlight reel on Instagram because it seems like you have some really cool like techniques for training. Like I saw you working with a girl like doing something on the wall with her feet. Like, do you have any cool, I don't know if you can explain it. It's like a podcast. It's hard if you can't show it. But is there any one or two things that you do to train people in ballet that you really like?
It really depends, because I do have kids that do private lessons with me.
Okay.
But it really depends on like what their own personal goals are, or like what I see them like not struggling with in class, but like maybe something that they want to work harder on. So I always try to, if they have a private lesson with me, like we always do like exercises that'll work on those muscles and work on whatever they need to work on, and then do those things and like center and like apply that. But yeah, I do like, I try to always have like ankle weights for my kids and like little like TheraBands. I call it the Weeble Wobble. It's like, you know what I'm talking about?
I've tried one of those before. Yeah. Your balance on it.
Yeah. It's not a bouncy ball though. It's like a hard plastic one, so you don't have to like reinflate it, which is nice.
Yeah.
But doing that for like turnout, balancing, anything like that, that'll help them with like their pirouettes or their fouettes or anything like that.
I feel like I need to get one of those, but it's hard enough for me just to practice my balances on the regular floor. So is it like worth it to still try to do one of those, or should you like have your balances on the floor really good before you're even like trying to use that?
I think you can try it. Like, to be honest, I think if you find your balance on that, then of course balancing on the floor is going to be easier.
Yeah.
But like maybe doing that will like kick in something that's not like working on the floor, because if you are on like an uneven surface, you have to like feel those muscles.
Doesn't it build the strength anyways? So like that's the whole point.
Yeah. And then you like feel those muscles like a lot more on an uneven surface than you would.
Are those things expensive, the kind that you have?
I think it was like $20, $30.
Oh,
it's like not that bad. And then like I said, you don't have to like reinflate it or anything, which is nice, because sometimes they pop if they're like the bouncy ball on the bottom. Yeah.
Okay, send me that link.
Yeah, I will. It's on Amazon. I will.
Because I used one of those in gymnastics, actually. She had me try one of those, and it was really cool. I was like, ooh, this would be great to work with.
Yeah, you just literally feel everything. Like your abs, your back. You feel like your inner thighs, like everything.
Yeah.
Just like 10 times 10.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
When you're taking classes, what's your favorite type of classes to take?
Ballet and jazz.
Okay.
I'm very technique.
Okay.
I'm trying to get out of that.
Okay.
which is hard. Take me to hip hop class and I'll point my feet. But but
Do
trying
you
to
like
get out
hip
of
hop?
that.
Do you like other styles at all? Or
I do. I wish I could I mean, I can hip hop. You know what I'm saying? But
I
like,
wish I could
hip hop. It's hard for me to let go.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's it. I wish it was
It's-
just like a lot easier for me to like let go, and that just comes with like taking more classes and
Yeah.
like getting out of that comfort zone and
Yeah.
just doing it more and more. But yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah, your technique just shines so much. I don't know that you need to like do hip hop, but
fine.
I mean, I was just curious. So ballet and jazz what are the places where do you usually take ballet at?
I take ballet here at Hamas.
Oh, yeah.
I take at T. Millie on Fridays.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah, with Lisa.
Yes. I've
Yeah,
taken
her
her
classes are,
Yeah,
they're a
she's good.
2-hour class. On Friday, it's
Oh,
2
you're
hours.
right.
So it's a class. It's a ballet class. It's like a whole...
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I love that. 2 hours. I know. I think
Yeah.
I took that slot with Cher when she was subbing.
I think that might have been
that the one we
class
took?
that we took.
Oh, I
don't
think it
know,
was.
but I think I did
That's
when she subbed.
That's probably why we talked, because that was a really small class.
It was.
Because I don't usually just randomly go up to people either, and
Yeah.
so oh yeah, what my whole spiel was going to be, was that we didn't really talk that much, but then we talk on Instagram, because I don't think either of us, I'm a friendly-ish person, but I'm also very focused, and I'm not necessarily trying to like talk to everybody.
Yeah.
I'm good with like standing in my own spot.
Yeah.
But I end up taking videos, and then I end up talking to people because they're like, "Can I get that video?" And then I end up like making friends that way.
Yeah.
But okay, that's a good schedule. And so I know we're going to get through your story and kind of talk about maybe why you're getting back into auditioning or whatever. But how's auditioning been recently? Like, how does that feel?
It's been the first couple of auditions that I've done since COVID. So it's been completely different, like completely 180 upside down, like completely different.
Because are you doing like self tapes, or did you have physical
yet,
auditions?
but there's just a lot more that you need to like submit online before.
Okay.
And then even just finding like in-person auditions are really hard.
Yeah.
To be honest.
Yeah.
If you're not like doing online submissions, because a lot of them are online submissions.
Okay. And you just haven't done any of those yet.
I don't have a dance reel yet. I gotta get that made.
Man, so much.
All the
to
things,
do.
literally so much to do.
Yeah, I can't imagine. We just need to like, yeah. There's ways, but I'm sure you're gonna learn it all. Okay, so that sounds like a great life. How much are you teaching? Like, when do you teach?
I teach Mondays, Tuesdays.
Okay.
I teach about, including privates, I teach about like 7-8 hours.
Okay.
But it's all like afternoons because the kids have school. So it's around like, I'm always there. I'm like first one there at the studio, last one there at night, closing up like at 9:30 with the poor kids that have to do homework after.
Oh my gosh.
But like they are such hard workers.
Yeah.
Like those little kids are like so determined and like just impress me so much all the time with like just showing up.
Yeah.
And then just like actually trying hard and being determined. It's like, oh, so nice to see.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
I love people that just like get joy from teaching, such as yourself, it seems. It's just like, I love that.
Yeah. It's so satisfying.
Yeah.
Like, of course there's like those moments where it's like, oh, do I want to go teach? Do I want to go be around kids? And it's every single time it's like, yeah, this is worth it. Like some kid does a pirouette perfect and I'm like, oh, and they look at me and it's like this like big excitement thing, you know? But yeah, it's so satisfying.
Cool. That's so cool. Okay, so Sarina, let's go back to your history. So where did you grow up?
I grew up in Pear Blossom, so in California.
Where is that?
It is in the Antelope Valley, so it's up north, but like not really. Do you know where Santa Clarita is?
Yes.
Where Six Flags is?
Yes.
It's like east.
Okay.
East of that, yeah.
Okay. And when did you first start taking dance?
When I was 3 years old.
Okay.
Yeah, so my parents put me in dance classes. I'm an only child, so I think they were like, you need something to do. And my dad had a bookmobile. Like he worked for the libraries, like those bookmobiles that used to come by. Do you know what I'm talking about?
No, I don't. What is
All right,
it? You said that
sidetrack.
you said that like everybody knows, unless maybe everybody does.
Does everybody know a bookmobile?
Bookmobile. That sounds
Write in the comments if you know a
amazing.
bookmobile.
What is a bookmobile?
It's like I feel like the best way to describe it is like a food truck, but for books.
I mean, that's what it sounds like. What happens? Is it like a library or you buy it?
It's a library. So it's a part of like the LA County Library.
Okay.
And then you just like drive it around. And I know my dad would go to like schools and like elderly homes and really just like places where people couldn't get access.
Okay.
To like a library really close. And so they would just take the bookmobile.
But, like, how do you... Okay, like, if it's an ice cream truck, you come out and you're, like... You look at the side of the truck and you see all the different ice creams.
Oh, so you get to
how do you
step
see
inside
the
of
books?
it. So it's
Okay.
like I guess, like more of a, like, camping trailer, maybe.
Okay.
But, like, not so
Oh.
gigantic.
Okay.
And then you can go inside of it. So, like, on each wall, it's just, like, literally filled with
Whoa.
books and stuff. And then, yeah, it's free because even if you don't have a little library card, you can, like, sign up for one there.
Okay.
And everything like that. And then they just check out the books, and then they come back, and then you can return your books
Do
there.
you need to make sure that you're available the next time the bookmobile is coming around so you can return it?
You can return it anywhere. Well, like, not
Oh.
anywhere, but, like, any LA County library. So
Okay.
if you want to wait for them to come back and, like, say you can't go to a library, then, yeah, then you'd return it there.
Okay.
But otherwise, you can go, like, return it there.
This is so fascinating. Is this happening still today?
I don't know, to be
Okay.
honest. I want to
Wow.
say yeah, but I also don't want to say yeah.
That's so cool because, like, ice cream trucks are so exciting, but I actually can't have ice cream because I
Yeah.
can't have dairy.
Yeah.
So how cool if it was a book ice cream truck.
I remember my dad came. He was doing the bookmobile for a while, and he came to my school. His route was like one of my schools, and it was like, hey, let me check out. It was like cool. I don't know. It was like pretty cool every time. It was like, oh, let's go in the library. It's like, you want to go to the library? No. You want to go inside a bookmobile? Yeah. Like, I don't know the difference.
Mean, it is. I do think it's way cooler.
It is pretty
so
cool.
So did everyone know it was your dad?
Yeah.
And were you cool because of that?
No. I don't want to say I wasn't cool, but I wasn't. It's not that I was cool, and it's not that I wasn't cool.
It was just like,
it was
it's
whatever.
Sarina's dad
Yeah.
at the bookmobile. Here
Yeah.
we are.
Yeah.
That is so interesting. I could probably talk about that for the whole podcast.
Yeah,
I'm like,
it
what
is pretty
kind
interesting.
of books did you get from the bookmobile?
I think they had like a lot of encyclopedias and like, or not encyclopedias, but like those like National Geographic books, like the whole like, yeah, the whole like collections
Very
of that.
cool.
Very like kid friendly books.
Okay.
Too. But, yeah.
I forgot why we were talking about this.
Oh, because I started. Okay, so my dad had a route.
Okay. I was like, why are we talking about this?
My dad had a route for the bookmobile right next to a dance studio.
Oh, okay.
And so when I was 3, my parents were like, why not? Why not sign you
Yeah,
up?
they just noticed it.
And then I just stuck with it.
But they didn't have any prior experience with dance. They just like saw it and were like,
yeah,
oh, that'd
my
be cool.
parents are very athletic softball, baseball players.
Oh, okay.
When they were in high school.
That's interesting that they didn't automatically think of putting you in like a more regular
I think
sport.
they tried. I don't think it's not that they didn't put me in a sport, but I think my dad like would play like baseball with me.
Okay.
And I just really wasn't good.
He's like, this isn't working.
He's like, no.
We need to find something else.
You cannot catch a ball, please. It was fun. Like, it was fun hitting the ball and everything, but, like, not really good. Not really the best at it.
Okay, so you went to dance when you were 3. Can you remember it from when you were 3? Can we remember things from then? I'm not sure.
I don't even know. I don't know. I can't.
I feel like I see pictures of myself from that age, and I feel like I remember it, but maybe it's just because I'm...
Yeah, like, did I
remembering the
actually
picture.
remember it, or is it just me looking at the picture?
What's your first earliest memory of dance or dance class? Do you have one of like feeling something about it?
It was probably my first class that wasn't like a combo class where it was like ballet tap. I think it was like my first like jazz class or like lyrical class, like my big kid class. I was probably like 5 or 6, and I remember that because I thought it was cool not having to like split class in half for like half of this, half of that, and I was like, we get to just do something different. This is crazy.
Wait, because what do you mean? They used to do a class that was part this and part
it would be
else?
like 30 minutes tap, 30 minutes ballet.
Oh.
And it was like, that's all it really was for like the little kids.
Okay.
It was just like ballet tap
I see.
until like 5 or like maybe 6 or 7 years old. And they'd be like, okay, now you can go into like jazz.
Like, I have a whole hour of this.
Yeah, a whole hour, like a whole warm up, a whole like
Wow.
combination. I feel like that was probably the first class where I really like learned an actual like combination and like did it in class. But I remember that. I remember walking out and just being like, wow, that was great. Not like actually saying that, but I was like, whoa, that's kind of cool. Wow. I kind of want to keep doing this.
That's so cool
Yeah.
that you just loved it. And were you doing like little recitals or anything at that time?
Yeah. I think I did a recital when I was 3, too.
Nice.
I think I did the first recital, like, when I first started. And then, I started competition team at our studio.
At what age?
When I was 7.
Okay.
When I was 7. Yeah, and I did that up until 17, maybe.
Wow.
So, like, 10
And that was all in the town that you grew up in?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was all in
So you weren't coming to LA for any classes or anything?
I started coming to LA sophomore year, like maybe freshman year of high school, maybe like 8th grade, maybe, when I started to like take things a little bit more serious, when I was like, this is like, I mean, I knew I wanted to be a dancer, like probably since I was 5.
Okay.
I was like, I want to do
Wow.
this. Like, I mean, I put so much time and effort into this already. Like, what?
When you were 5?
No, I mean,
you're
but,
like,
really,
I already
though.
put years into this.
It's been 2 years.
It's going to have to be my career.
I can't stop it
Too
now.
much at this point.
I invested 2 years. I can't.
Your little 5-year-old self, you're like, you're really strategic. You're like, I've already invested time. I might as well just make this my thing.
I might as well just follow it through.
Okay, so you started taking it like especially serious around like in middle school, junior high.
Yeah.
And then you were coming like into LA for some things, or
Yeah, so I was coming down to the Edge
Okay.
to take Denise's class.
Oh, nice.
I think her
Wow.
class and Terry's class was the first class that I ever took, like down in LA.
I still haven't taken Terry's either. Those are.
we
I
should
feel
take
like
her
all of those
class.
teachers are like in the same category.
Yeah.
Like was taking Malaya for a while, and she's kind of in that category of
Yeah.
teachers that like a lot of people have been going to them for like a really long time. But I still need to try Terry's, and I want to.
Terry's class is good.
How would you say Terry's is different from Denise's?
I would say it's maybe a little bit more structured. I feel like
Okay.
she does a lot of legs.
Okay.
Like, I feel like if I remember clearly, just like a lot of legs, which is
Okay.
cool. But like, definitely some leg situation.
Okay.
And I feel like Denise has some leg situations, but I feel like Terry's is more like place leg
Okay.
instead of like flow through it.
Okay.
And it's more like a leg.
Okay.
But it's still like very lyrical, which is nice.
Try to work on my flexibility before I take her class, which is getting there, but that's a journey. Okay, and so how did you? Because taking class at the studio that you grew up with, but then had you found other studios? Like that studio didn't go through like all the ages, or did it?
I stayed at that studio and I taught at that studio.
Oh, wow.
When I first started
Okay.
teaching, I taught at that studio. But
So
yeah,
that was all. You always just went to that studio
Yeah.
until you started going to LA.
there was this other studio. Well, yeah. So much. So many things, so many thoughts
Tell me.
going on.
So there was other studios.
I was a part of Antelope Valley Ballet.
Okay.
So that was a ballet company.
Oh, cool.
It's like a
As a
local.
kid you were?
As a kid, up
Nice.
until 19, maybe.
Wow.
But it's like an actual ballet company with kids, which is
Okay,
nice
that is really
because
cool.
instead of like training for everything, going through it, and then like experience it as like an adult, you're like, oh, I've never been able to do a lead role, and like, you know what I'm saying? So it was cool that like it was an actual like ballet company for kids, and then also for adults too. So you can like work your way up, apprentice, like quarter ballet,
Oh, wow.
soloist, and then eventually I got up to principal. It was really like
cool.
18 plus for principals because then you would get paid.
Okay.
So like the kids couldn't really. I mean, they could.
You weren't getting paid as a kid for it.
No.
Okay.
It was
More
just
like,
just
the experience,
fun.
the training.
Yeah, the experience, the training, and everything. We would do Nutcracker every single year.
Okay.
And then we would do a spring show, and then also a contemporary show. So we would
Wow.
do a contemporary show and then a spring show, and then during the summer I would go away for summer intensives.
Wow. Where would you go for the summer intensives?
I have gone to Pittsburgh Ballet Theater a couple of years, and Texas Ballet Theater.
Okay.
And then I did, my very first one was Long Beach Ballet in
Okay.
state. I did that when I was 12.
Wow.
Yeah, I did that when I was 12, turning 13.
Wow. When you were growing up as like a young kid, did you have friends that were kind of in ballet at the same kind of pace as you, also pushing
Yes.
and joining the company? Or
Yes.
did you feel like you were surpassing everybody and doing all this
I
stuff?
feel like there was a lot of competition. Not competition, but just like the way that everybody viewed it. Not everybody, but like just the way that the environment was, is there was a lot of us the same age
Okay.
trying to get
Okay.
the same things.
Yeah.
So a lot of with that, you had to be free on Fridays to be in like company class for like
Okay.
the soloists and the principals. So if you were in high school, like going to an actual high school, you couldn't really, because it was 10 a.m. on Friday, so you couldn't really go to that class. So that kind of just put a lot of things. Oh, well, you're not going to get the soloist part. Not really, but like, you know.
So what did you do? Were you in school on Fridays or no?
Went to regular school freshman year, and then I went to a charter school for the rest of my high school. And so I went Tuesday, Thursday only.
Oh.
And then I graduated one semester early, and then I was there for maybe like 4 hours, and then after that I was there for 1 hour on Tuesday, Thursdays, and then the rest of it was really like doing
Is
it
that how
at
charter
home.
schools work?
I don't know.
That you can have that flexibility?
I think that's really what it is, yeah, but don't quote me on this.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think I used to know more about charter schools when I used to babysit more and heard that word more, but I'm like, that's really cool.
It was cool. It was just really like, I could see if somebody wasn't really motivated to do schooling, how you would get behind, because a lot of it was like at home. But I graduated early because I just did my work. I was like, I want to get this done. Like I have everything that I need to do. Like why not just do it?
Yeah.
And so I did. I was like,
and at the charter school, were there a lot of like dancers or different kinds of or actors?
yeah,
or different...
there was a lot of different people who just like, whether it worked with like the parents' schedules or like, yeah, like people working on like sports or there were a couple of dancers in there. But yeah, it was all different.
That's amazing. I wish that there was like charter jobs for adults.
Honestly,
where you still
yeah.
make the same amount of money as a full-time job, but it's
cool.
just like on Tuesdays and Thursdays.
That'd be cool. Going in for an hour. That's it.
Like,
work on it at home.
My brain is, I'm just getting ideas.
That was me in high school. I was like, wow, I have so much free time. So then that's when I started coming down to LA more and taking classes, because I had that free time of everybody else is in school. Well, I'm in the morning traffic with everybody going to their job and I'm going to dance.
That's
like
so
everything
cool.
like that. But it was cool. It was I'm happy that I did that, and I'm glad that my parents like let me do that.
Yeah. How would you describe the difference with like taking classes in LA versus, and were you taking classes mostly with adults or other like teenagers?
That was so scary. I mean, it's still scary.
You're an adult and you're like,
I'm an adult and it's scary. But no, I remember just sticking to myself. I mean, like I have bad anxiety anyway, so it's like going anywhere, I'm like, what's the parking like? What does the inside look like? Where do I need to sign up? What's the bar situation? Where do I stand? Where does my water go? Do I wear shoes? Do I not wear shoes? Am I wearing something weird? So like all of that while like growing up and being like a 13-year-old with like your own anxieties and like weirdness anyway. It was hard, but after the first class, I was like, this is great. This is so cool. Yeah. This is awesome. I want to keep doing this. But yeah.
Wow. And what was your dance competition experience like?
I feel like I was such a busy teenager, and I knew that when I was like a kid, and like, but I feel like I'm looking back at it, I'm like, that's crazy that like I did all that, because I did competition. I would always have 2 solos to compete. I would always have like a duo or a trio, and then at least like 2 or 3 group dances.
Wow.
I would be on the tap team. I do like tap.
Wow.
I would be on the tap team, and then I'd be like on the jazz team, and then like my 2 solos, and then a duo or a trio. So it was a lot of stuff. And then we asked like our director for the dance team, like, hey, my parents and I, they were like, hey, like, can we take it? My solos, can we just take them to other dance competitions that you guys aren't going to? And they were like, yeah, like as long as you use like our name and like, you know, use everything and like not just say like, you know, blah, blah, blah. But just like still give us credit and everything like.
Okay, we're back. My phone got really hot because today's one of the cooler days in LA, like high of 76, even in Studio City, and the sun just started beating down, and I was getting really hot, and then my phone was getting really hot, and then it just turned off.
It came out from nowhere because it's been cloudy the whole day.
Yeah, so sun is peeking out. That's okay.
Are.
So now we have some. We're blocking the sun a little bit to keep it cool. So yeah, Sarina, you were telling us about how you were taking your solos to other places to do, because you wanted to do extra competitions with it.
Yeah, I wanted to just honestly get my money's worth. Not my money's worth, but my parents' money's worth. Like I was paying for it, but my parents' money's worth for just. Taking it to as many competitions that I could go to. So that was also scary, going by myself. But it was cool. Not that I ever like made any friends or anything. But it was cool. That sounds so sad. But
well, you liked growing in dance.
Yeah.
I mean, for someone, when you describe yourself as having anxiety and being scared of a lot of things, I mean, you must really love dance to push past all of
Yeah.
that and still want to do more
No,
of it,
seriously.
you know?
I think about that often. I'm like, oh my gosh. Like, if I just think about, like, an audition, I'm like, that's crazy that, like, I do that.
Yeah.
That's crazy that anybody does that.
Really,
or, like,
it is,
You go
yeah.
out by yourself, you have to, like, say your name. Oh, that's so scary. Just ask me to dance, please.
That's scarier for you, saying your name?
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
But I feel like you wanted to be on this podcast so quickly. Is this scary?
Well, now. No. Well, now it is.
I feel like you seem or act like you are like really shy, or you don't really like to talk in front of people or meet a lot of people necessarily. But I feel like you're so easy to talk to.
I feel like I'm good one-on-one or
Okay.
like in a group. I'm not just going to say like one-on-one, but like I feel like I'm good in like a group. And then when it comes to like, even if I know everybody in the group and it's like 50 people, it's like, that's scary.
Yeah. I guess that's true. Yeah, a large
Like,
group. That's
yeah.
true. If like a lot of people
Yeah.
are, or if you are auditioning and you're being
Yeah.
kind of judged, like that's
Literally judged.
different than just
Yeah.
talking to
Yeah.
someone. So okay.
But yeah, did that. Went to competitions by myself. It was a little scary sitting up there with everybody like at their studio, sitting for awards and everything, and then
You're just sitting by yourself.
literally by myself in the
Wow.
back corner. Like I remember telling my parents, I was like, I don't even want to go up on stage. Like,
Did you win?
and that is not the awkward part, but the awkward part is that I got first overall on one of them, and they were like, Sarina Lowe from blah blah blah, and everyone like.
Everyone's like, who's
Complete
that?
silence except for like my grandma, my grandpa, my mom, and my dad.
Because you didn't have like a team.
I
there,
didn't
like,
have I
cheering.
didn't have like a team there. It was literally just those 4 people there like supporting me, which is cool. Like
That's so cool,
that is
though.
so cool, and I love that like I got that moment and that opportunity. But yeah, it was a little awkward, like when they were like first overall for the Jazz, like whatever old Sarina Lowe, and then I just like come up like from the very back of like the
Wow.
stage, and I'm like, thank you.
Was that one of your like biggest winning moments in your dance competition life?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah, I also had a tap trio where we went to nationals and we
Okay.
won our category in nationals.
Oh, nice.
Which was cool. I was like 8 years old then, so it was like a really high moment then. I was like
Wow.
really on cloud
8
nine.
years
It was like
old.
it was pretty cool. I was like, yeah, we won.
that is so cool.
Yeah.
Oh my
But
gosh.
yeah, I would really hustle to go to any competition that I could. And then we would always go to Vegas in the summer for a dance competition
Okay.
because we're like right here to Vegas. And
Okay,
it's like,
yeah.
oh, so fun. Let's go to Vegas. Why not? But I would miss that because I would be at my summer intensive. And I like would always like not feel guilty, but I'm like, oh, I wish I could be with the team. But then I'm like over here training with a professional ballet company.
Yeah.
And it was just like, it's crazy how much stuff I did as a kid.
Wow.
And I'm like, I take one class and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so tired. Oh my gosh.
Although today when we took one class, you were like, I'm ready to take another class.
I kind of was.
I'm like, I was the one that was like, I don't think I'm
I was like,
done
I'm nice
now.
and warm now.
Serena's like, I'm warm now. What else can we take?
What can
I'm
we
like,
do?
oh, I think her child self is coming out again. She's ready to go to Vegas
real,
and take some
yeah.
classes.
Yeah.
Wow. So you were just like really, really focused. You're like, I just
Yeah.
want to get better and better. I mean, was the reason for you wanting to go to extra competitions and stuff just because you like really wanted to push yourself and like just really wanted to grow?
I like being on stage. I
Okay.
really do enjoy performing. It's been a hot minute since I've been on stage, but I
Yeah.
really do enjoy performing. And then I would always feel like, oh, I wish there was like another competition to do. Like after this season, I was like, I
Wow.
wish there's more. You know, like I feel like, oh, I didn't get enough to like compete that.
Wow.
So it was like just literally looking wherever. Oh, we can go this weekend. All right, let's do it. You know. So
Wow.
it was cool.
That's such a cool thing to hear because I feel like a lot of the way a lot of dancers talk about competitions, like I obviously like I didn't train as a kid in a serious way and I didn't do dance competitions. My knowledge of dance competitions comes from like watching Dance Moms.
Yeah.
But
I was
and-
on Dance Moms.
Wait, you were?
Yeah.
Wait, okay,
So-
wait, let's talk about
Yeah,
that.
okay, so I like wasn't like on the team or anything, but they came out to Lancaster in the
Okay.
AV, and it was like so weird that they were coming out there like Lancaster, like out of all the places in California, you're going to like Lancaster.
Yeah,
That's so
yeah.
like literally like in my hometown. That's so weird.
Yeah.
And again, I was like, can I sign up my solo? And the studio was like, yeah, like our studio didn't go. They didn't compete.
Okay.
And I was like, can I just like sign up my solos and like do that? And I remember it was like a 6 a.m. call time. And we were there until like 8 or 9 at night. because we all had to sign the forms.
So it was like you competed in a dance competition that was going to be on Dance Moms.
Yes,
and then
I have a slight second of me doing a cartwheel for my solo on Dance Moms.
That's so cool.
I was like, wait, this is the episode. They used me.
Oh my gosh.
For like one of those like in between scenes, you know? I was like, that's cool.
What season was it? Do you remember?
I want to say season 5, but I also don't know.
Okay.
I have it hearted on my phone.
Like I also don't know.
I also don't know.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah,
That's
was
so cool.
It was cool to see. It was totally, I mean, I'm not going to say anything about like the competition, but we were waiting around a lot for the Dance Moms girls, and of course Abby had her big ol' like dramatic entrance of like, I'm here and everything. I remember it was one episode where they didn't win, so it was like kind of like tea going on. Like I think if I'm remembering right, she like leaves. I mean, she always like left. Abby always left early.
Oh.
But I think she like stormed out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure that I not that long ago got into Dance Moms. Like long after it was actually like a big thing and out. I mean, I know people are still into it now, but like when I was injured, all I could do was like stretch in my room for like a year. I got really into Dance Moms and watched every single episode. Even like whatever the last like spin-off, there was some spin-off thing. I even watched that. I watched everything, and I really don't like all the arguing and everything, but I love the dances, and I loved watching those girls dance, and like I was just obsessed. I could just watch all those dances like constantly. So that's I'm like, oh my gosh,
I was on it.
That's so cool.
I was like on it, but like not on it, but I was on it.
Yeah, but I love that you were like, this is happening. I'm gonna go do it. Like you're obviously like very, very driven. Was there some, but you also just liked being on stage. That's what I was going to say, was like, that's so cool to hear, because I feel like a lot of dancers, when they talk about their dance competition, like past, I mean, I think a lot of them like value it, or they like think it helped them, but I don't hear a lot of dancers be like, oh, I just loved it. I loved being on stage. It kind of, maybe not as extreme as Dance Moms, but like, where it's kind of similar to that.
For
like,
sure.
There's a lot of pressure. It's
For
like
sure.
stressful. And
For sure.
I mean, is it really good for kids, or like, should we train a different way as kids? And like, you know, so hearing that you're just like, I just wanted another chance to be on stage. I liked competing. Like, it probably is like that for a lot of kids too. I mean, everyone has different experiences.
Yeah,
so.
I would say it definitely, I think if I was just doing dance competitions instead of like going out to summer intensives and then also training in like ballet, it does have that energy, I will say. It just gets, it also just depends on who you're around, honestly, like who your friends are, like who you're on team with, everything like that. I do remember them being like, not Dance Mom drama with the moms, but like, there's always like something being said, maybe about a costume. I remember the costumes being the thing. It was like, why are we stressing about costumes? Like, but yeah, I feel like the positives really outweighed like the negatives. I mean, it's stressful. You're at a competition.
Yeah.
You know, like
competing is stressful.
Competing is stressful. Being on stage is stressful, you know. But then it gets fun after a while.
Yeah.
For sure.
And you get more used to it probably.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, it's my turn, versus like, it's my turn.
Yeah, exactly. I remember my first solo, I was like, ooh, on stage, like, ooh. Even like my last one, I was like, ooh, like a little nervous, but like it just gets better.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would always try to just like take the positive out of everything. Like I do enjoy competing, and I do, not competing, but like I do enjoy being on stage.
Yeah.
And that's at a competition, so like that's fun, you know?
Well, I think most dancers tend to have a competitive nature.
For sure.
Like, hopefully we're keeping it in check and realizing that there's more important things than that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I think sharpening each other by just being like, oh, look at what she did. I could do that too, or I want to try to do that too. Like, not in a negative way, but just like, I think we do tend to be a little competitive, because we just all want to grow.
Yeah.
So I think it's like healthy to a degree. And I think competitions is how people grow at stuff a lot of times. So I think that's really cool to hear that you like had a good experience. When you were so driven, because you're like, I know I want to be a dancer even from a young age, did you have a certain picture in your mind of like what being a dancer for your life, for like your real life career, what that looked like? Or was it just very vague in your mind?
I was very set on being in a ballet company.
Okay.
Yeah.
A specific one, or
any?
Okay.
I mean, Texas Ballet Theater and Pittsburgh Ballet Theater were my mains that I was going to, and I did summer intensives from 13 to 19.
Wow.
So I did that for a while.
And all of those were like a potential company you could possibly join?
Yeah, so those you would like go. My first one was 3 weeks long, so I would be away for 3 weeks, stay at a dorm for 3 weeks. You would take like a ballet class, a pointe class, maybe a pas de deux class, a character class, maybe a contemporary class if they had them. And then you would have like a big show at the end to show like your parents or your friends or like anything. This is what we've been working on this summer type of thing. But my other ones were 5 weeks long, like 6 weeks long. So it was more, and then they were out of state. But the more that you went, they had like a pre-professional program that you could join for like a year and then hopefully be signed to the company.
Wow.
But all of it's just very up in the air.
Yeah.
Like no guarantee if you stay for the summer intensive, say you've been going for 6 years, there's no guarantee that they're going to ever sign you to the company, which is just, I mean, with anything.
But that's like kind of the hope. You're checking out the situation. You're like, oh, maybe this is the one that I really want to try the hardest at or whatever. Now, when you were doing all of this, I think, so what was your friend situation like back then? Did you feel like you had any time for friends? Did you feel like you were making friends through dance? I know that wasn't your goal.
I only had dance friends.
Yeah.
I literally only have, like, and I'm still thinking, I only have dance friends.
Totally to this day.
Like, totally to this day.
Yeah.
Maybe I have a couple that aren't dancers, but all of my friends were dancers. So it was that, like, we weren't very, we are competitive, like you were saying. And it does get a little awkward when it's like, oh, I got the lead role and like, or somebody else got the lead role and I'm like, oh, but you know, it was always like supportive and, you know,
it kind of forces you to be like, okay, as much as like I'm a part of this competition, like this is my friend.
Yeah.
So it's kind of, I think those kind of moments give you a chance to make a choice of a right decision, which is to support your friend.
Definitely.
Even if, okay, my initial feeling was like, oh, disappointment, I wish I would have gotten that.
Yeah.
But, well, really cool for her. This is my chance to be humble.
Yeah, this is the second best option, right?
Yeah.
Like, if it's not me, then, like, my best friend, you know? Like, that's so cool. But it is also, like, you get that feeling where you're like, oh. And then you're like, wait, no, this is cool. Like, this is awesome.
Takes a minute.
Yeah. Like, wait, I get to see my best friend on stage doing the lead role. Like, that's sick, you know? But yeah, all of my friends were dance friends and are dance friends. And we would audition together. And it would be, like, really scary. But yeah, I always hated auditioning with people that I knew.
I get that kind of. I don't know. It could go either way, but yeah, that's kind of. We'll talk about why did you hate it?
It just feels. I don't know. I always thought in my head, I'm going to dance better if I don't know anybody.
Yeah.
I feel like I can let go if I don't know anybody. I was very, like I said, so hard for me to let go. Mm-hmm. And I've been training. I haven't just done ballet. I have taken hip hop classes since I was like 5 years old, and I have been training in hip hop, and like I love tap, and like I've tried to do literally every single style so I can stay well rounded. But it is hard for me to let go, and I felt that when I was a kid. You know, I can let go if nobody's here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get that feeling. Sometimes just being in front of like strangers versus like someone you know or people you know.
Because they don't know me. They don't know how I dance. Yeah. They don't know that I don't usually dance like this. You know, they don't know, you know. But if I like try something different, it's like, oh my God, they could say something. They could notice like, why'd you do that? But like nobody's going to say that. Yeah. That's the thing. Nobody's going to say that.
Yeah. I even feel that when you're making friends in general, like if I meet someone and they don't know anything about me, I feel like I'm so free to be myself because they don't know, I don't know them. I don't know what they approve or don't approve of.
Exactly.
So I'm just like, it's me.
Yeah.
And then once I get to know them better and I know how they are and what they like or don't like, sometimes I find myself like shrinking down a little bit because I'm like, oh, I want to please them too.
I feel that,
Versus like if you don't even know them, you're like, well, I don't even know how to cater to them, so I'm just going to totally be myself and do whatever. And I feel like it's kind of similar with what you're talking about. Okay, so you kept doing all of that. You're training so hard. You were like getting some wins. What kind of happened at the end? Because when were you trying to get into I mean, you were in a ballet company as a kid already, but as far as like your career, was that the plan was like after high school or when you're 18, or like what was the plan of when to get into that?
I don't know if I genuinely wanted to be in a ballet company, but I felt the pressure of like, and so I thought like, being in a ballet company would be sick until I then like realized I was like, but I don't know if I really want to be in a ballet company. I felt like a lot of pressure from like my dance teachers. Even if I would go to like a different summer intensive, I feel like they wanted me to go to a specific one. And I was like, I would come back and it's like, well, why didn't you go to the other one? And it's like, oh, I went to a different summer intensive. Just be happy for me, please. I got training. But I felt like there was a lot of push to like go.
So if that was kind of like something you weren't as sure about anymore as much, was there a different dance stream you were starting to develop?
And that's the thing, is that I didn't know what I wanted. And I remember having like a meeting with one of my dance teachers, and she was like, well, like what do you want to do? And I was like, I just want to dance. Like, what do you mean I want to dance? Like, can I not just dance? And she's like, well, do you have like a company that you want to join, a choreographer that you want to work with? And I'm like, I've only thought about ballet companies, you know? It's like I've only thought about those summer intensives that I've been doing. But then I thought about it more, and I was like, do I actually want to be in a ballet company? So then I went to college.
Oh, okay.
Which was never in my mind, ever in my mind.
Where did you go?
New York. I went to Marymount Manhattan College, so all the way to New York. Yeah.
What made you do that?
I think I just wanted to go to New York, to be honest.
Partly for dance, or
for dance. So I was a dance major. I went there for 1 semester.
Okay.
And then I decided I don't know why I'm going to school for dance.
Yeah.
That's
not to really not to put that down, but like yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like hey, get your degree, get your BFA, like whatever. But for me, I didn't feel like it was worth the money.
Yeah.
Well, I got 2 scholarships, and I like still had to pay.
Okay.
I'm still in debt, and it's been since 2017.
Wow.
So, and it was only for 1 semester, so it was like crazy.
Wow.
It was crazy, but I just felt like I would have rather been in New York auditioning rather than going to school or going and taking classes and like maybe not getting the same training, but like getting different training.
Yeah. And you already trained your whole life. It's basically like you were in college
exactly.
your whole life. So.
Yeah, I don't want to say that like I took classes and I was like, I don't need this, because like you can learn from everything. Like I was taking different modern classes and everything like that, but I was like, I think I want to just like audition. Like that's what I want to do. I want to just like start auditioning instead of wait until I'm out of college to audition. So then I came back after 1 semester. And then I started auditioning for things. I didn't book anything, and then COVID happened.
Oh.
So it was really, I had about maybe 6 months to a year of auditions. And I really just auditioned for, like, Disney things.
Oh, really?
To be honest, yeah.
Like things at Disneyland?
Disneyland, Disney Cruises, Disney Hong Kong.
I've heard about that. I had a friend that recently went to an audition for Disney Hong Kong.
Why not? Right? Like, you never know.
Yeah.
I got to the end of every single round, and they were like, we're going to keep you on the roster for 6 months. Like, we might call you in 6 months. And I was like, okay. And then COVID happened.
Wow.
So it was kind of like, I'm glad that I dropped out of college, because then I would have been in college during COVID, and that would have sucked.
But you did stay in New York doing all these auditions.
No, so I moved back. So I was only
right after you stopped college, you did move back here.
Yeah, so I finished out the first semester, and then I moved right on back.
Did you go to any auditions in New York?
No
or do
auditions.
Anything?
So there was, not that there was a law while we were at college, but you weren't really allowed to audition until you were like a junior.
Okay.
Not that anybody's going to like stop you and be like, hey, you can't audition for this. But it was more like, if you book the job, like, what are you going to do? Like, you can't stay in college, and then we're not going to, not that we're not going to allow you back in, but it's going to be like, bridges are burned type of thing. So they really kept it for like junior, senior year, where it was like, hey, go audition. And like, we've set up auditions. We've set up auditions. We have these people coming. But I would go and take classes at any chance that I could get at Steps.
Nice.
I couldn't take any point classes either at college.
Oh.
I feel like the thing with college for me was that I couldn't take any of the classes that I wanted to take.
Oh, yeah.
I could take ballet. I was required to take ballet. I was required to take modern. And then I had to take, I don't even know what it was. It was like this improv class. And then I had to do like backstage. So then I worked like all the performances backstage, like on headset doing lights and everything like that. When I was like, I want to take a point class. I want to do
this is what I'm trying to do.
Yeah, which was cool, because like I know how to do some stuff backstage, but I feel like I was just wanting other things from college. I wanted to just go take classes out and about. So I was trying to just fulfill that while I could in New York. But then I moved back.
Okay, when you came back here and then it was COVID, so then what did you do during COVID? And were you living with your parents?
No, I was living with my partner.
Okay.
So I started teaching at my home studio when I returned back from college.
Okay.
And I did taught a couple classes there, and then I started teaching at a studio in LA.
Okay.
And then COVID happened, and then we did online classes for a little bit, and then it was just like nothing for a while because we worked with kids, so we were like the last to come back to like work. And then we did more online like towards the end of the year, and then we finally came back in person. So I was really just like unemployed that whole COVID time, except for like at the very beginning and then at the very end. But like through that whole middle part, it was like, well, we can't open, we can't do anything, we can't do classes, nobody's taking classes online type of thing, you know? It's like nobody thinks it's worth it. So
you weren't taking classes online?
No, I wasn't. I did not dance for about like a year.
Wow.
Other than teaching.
Yeah.
Other than teaching.
Was that fulfilling enough to at least be teaching, or did that feel weird? I mean, you literally danced your whole... You never really had a break from dance until then.
Literally ever. It felt weird. I mean, it was a big change in general, like COVID, and then also just like stopping dance and like not having as many classes to teach and not even just like going in person and like keeping up with things. It was like a big change. It was... I mean, we all thought the world was going to end.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, this is crazy. Like, everything literally just stopped for me.
Yeah.
It was like life stopped, dance stopped, like everything was just like on a hold.
Yeah.
And then we finally got back to like being able to teach classes and everything. So then that felt weird again because I was like, we're back in person. This is weird. I haven't done this. What do I do?
Yeah.
And then we had to not even just like be 6 feet away, and like we were teaching out. I was teaching outside, and it was like...
That's really hard for ballet.
It was such a weird vibe. I don't know. It was just like so weird and like completely different. I don't think anybody was prepared for like how different it would be. But yeah, it was like completely different.
So what's it been like since starting to come back with like, did you start taking tons of classes again, wanting to go to auditions again, or was it a different vibe because after that like break?
It was a different vibe. I was sad.
Yeah.
I was like literally everything stopped. I stopped going to classes. Nobody knew what in the world was going on. But yeah, I think I like missed it, but it was just that anxiety of like going back. That
Really?
anxiety of like just doing it because I was like,
because you hadn't done it in a long time?
yeah, and then I knew, well, then the edge was gone.
Oh, I know.
And then the edge was gone, and then my studio was gone. So
the studio that you taught at?
No, just the edge. I was like,
your studio
my
edge,
that's like my studio that I would go to. So then it was like, well, where do I take classes? Denise isn't there. I don't know, like my comfort people, you know what I'm saying? Like my little comfortable people that I'm with weren't teaching. So it was like, I have to go to Millennium or...
Oh my gosh, that's how I
the
felt
parking.
too.
The parking. It's not even the closet, the parking.
The parking.
The parking.
And recently, just tangent, that Millenniums, they have more sign. The streets that I always used to park on, because I hadn't been there in a while till the other day, and the streets I used to always park on now have signs like can't park after 6 or something.
You can't park anywhere.
Wait, like those streets didn't have signs. I found a special spot that I always got, and I'm like, now these streets have signs.
Yeah.
I'm like, wait, where do I even go now? Now I have to figure it out again.
Yeah,
but
the parking is like so bad there.
rough.
It's rough. It's rough.
But you eventually kind of found like some classes.
Yeah.
Like, did you start to feel like I don't even know if I want to do dance anymore, or like...
No, it was just I needed to get over myself and go take a class.
Okay.
And I was like, what's the easiest thing to do, a ballet class? I was like, I know the structure. I know exactly what's going to happen in the class, right? I just need to like park and then find my bar spot. So I felt like taking a ballet class was like the easiest thing for me to do to like get back into it.
Yeah.
And then I took Denise's class when she was like available to teach, and I was like, okay, well, this is like starting to feel better. And then last year, I got Achilles tendonitis.
Oh.
So that's fun. Still dealing with it. I took a 10.5-mile hike. Don't do it.
Is this how you got it?
Yeah. Literally not even from dancing.
Oh my gosh.
I probably would have gotten it anyway, but not even from dancing or anything. I did a 10.5-mile hike while I was camping with my family.
Yeah.
And I was like, my ankle hurts like really bad. And I kept saying, it hurts like really bad. And I have like a high pain tolerance. I was like, this hurts.
Wow.
And I went and they were like, yeah, it's Achilles tendonitis. And I was like, oh my gosh.
You're like, we need to go home right now.
I was like, I need to get this fixed.
Yeah.
So yeah, that kind of sucked.
Wait, what year was that?
Last year. It was like last
So you had already
September.
been back to dance and everything.
Yeah.
But then this happened on a hike.
It happened on a hike. Out of all things.
I feel like I hear
hike.
that story from dancers a lot, though, where they're like, I tripped on the stairs. You're like,
Yeah.
you literally didn't get injured from dance. It's just from something else.
Yeah, a hike.
But was that your first, did you never get injured your whole dance career, or like never seriously injured?
No, not really.
Wow. That's pretty good for like how much you
Yeah,
dance.
to be honest, yeah.
Okay,
And that's why everything's just catching up with me now. I'm
Wow.
like, I probably would have gotten Achilles tendonitis anyway, but that 10-mile hike
I
did
don't
it.
know.
That 10-mile hike did it.
So what do you still have it?
Yeah, I think so. I mean,
Okay.
yeah, it hurts.
Like, what did you do initially? Did you start going to physical therapy? Or
Yeah,
like...
so I took physical therapy for like 3-4 months.
Okay.
And he was just giving me like exercises, like releves to do.
Yeah.
Basically.
And you weren't able to go to dance during that, or were you still?
I didn't dance, but I did teach.
Okay.
And it was more like, kids, you're gonna jump for me, because
Yeah.
like jumping was the hardest thing. I was
Wow.
like, jumping really kind of hurts
Yeah.
a lot. Even going on releve, I was like, that kind of hurts. But it was really the jumping part where I was like, yeah, we're gonna take that a little easy.
Wow.
And then, yeah, I remember taking my first ballet class after, like this year, after like in January. I was like, all right, this is my first ballet class. And we did a grand jeté, and I was like so scared to land it. But I was like, okay, I'm fine. I'm fine. It was like really just,
Wow.
again, me getting over myself and like my anxieties of like, you're fine, just
Well, it's like a
dance.
pretty legitimate
Yeah.
anxiety. Like you
That
were
time it
injured.
was,
like,
yeah.
I get that. Like that kind of happened to me when I got injured too. It's like, wait, can I do this now?
Yeah.
Like it just takes a while, like
Yeah.
to ease yourself back. But you feel like you're pretty much able to like do anything now, or just
Yeah.
like a twinge of pain there?
No,
still,
it definitely
or?
still hurts. I feel like I have to warm up before I come to dance.
Okay.
Definitely just like my ankle. I'm like, I
Okay.
need to just honestly probably for my own anxiety too.
Oh man.
I'm like, oh, I need to do releves. I need to like, do TheraBand. I need to do everything. I will say that my releve is not as high as it used to be.
Okay.
On that left side. And that's what I kept telling my physical therapist. I was like, I know for like a normal person this is fine, but like my releve is not as
Like
high.
I've been training this releve since I was 3.
like,
so we need to get it up
literally
there.
this releve is not as high as it used to be.
Wow.
So we need to fix this.
You're like, it's still, just so you know, it's still broken.
Yeah.
Wow. Was your physical therapist a dancer physical therapist or no?
No.
Because I went to two different specific dancer physical therapists.
Oh, yeah.
So it was actually better because I also went to regular ones, and it was much nicer going to the ones that worked with
Yeah.
dancers and understood. Because like
For
they
sure.
would understand that like you do need
For
to get a higher
sure.
releve.
Yeah.
Other ones are like, that's higher than everybody I know. Like
Literally, yeah. Like nobody needs to have it that high. And I'm like, no, but I do.
You're like, I do though.
I do.
Oh man, wow, that's rough. I think you might have
But-
mentioned this to me when we talked at my birthday.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that's really sad. But like, does it feel like it's still going in like a positive direction?
Yeah,
Like,
I think I just need to keep up with.
Yeah.
It's
Build
just
the muscles
Yeah,
back.
that's all it really is just like keeping up with it,
Yeah.
knowing that I need to set aside some time before class to like warm up my ankle, warm up
Yeah.
this specific part of my body. And that's how I'm like, oh, I didn't have to do this as a kid. I could just jump into my splits. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I have to do releves before I start class.
Yeah. Well, you probably won't have to do that forever.
Yeah.
Like, it's just, it takes time.
But
man.
yeah.
But when you love it. So do you feel like currently you still love dance as much as you did before, and like you still like really want to make this even more of a career?
I feel like I like it more. I
Really?
feel like having some time away, yeah, it sucked because it was during COVID and then I had an injury. I feel like it made me love it more.
Yeah.
And made me find exactly why I like it.
Yeah.
And like realize that like, wow, I do feel good dancing. And like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, maybe you do have those classes that like suck. But it's like, does it really? But I still got to dance. Like, that's so
Yeah.
cool,
Yeah.
I feel like I've found more. And then that's also, again, with me getting, like, older and not being a teenager and, like, thinking about it as, like, this is cool. Like, I love it. I could do this forever. It's like, no, I could, like, really do this forever if I can, if my body will, It's like, I really, really enjoy this.
Yeah.
But
that
yeah.
kind of happened to me too. Like, I wasn't sure if during my injury and COVID, if I was just going to stop caring about it. Like, am I even going to want to keep doing this? Like, my over dance? Like, if I haven't done it in so long.
Yeah.
But I felt like I really loved it more when I came back too.
Yeah.
And it was like, okay, Tracy, now stop stressing about getting all the choreography. Just be happy that you can dance.
Yeah.
Because you literally couldn't
Yeah.
for like a while.
Yeah.
So, But quickly I got back into stressing about the choreography.
Yeah. That came back quick.
But I try to remind myself, like, Tracy, you're here. You're capable. Your body can move.
Yeah.
Like, there was a time when it couldn't. So let's be, like, really grateful and, like, use this time. Mm-hmm. So now, I know we're going to probably wrap it up soon, but now, like, are you still unclear with, like, your vision? Like, obviously you're teaching dance, so you're already, like, doing dance with your life, but, like, are you still not having a super clear vision of, like, do you still sometimes think about doing a ballet company, or you're like, I don't even want to think about
my
that?
words last night, I was like, should I audition for a ballet?
Why not? You trained
Should
your
I
whole
audition?
life.
I know. And I think the thing is, when I was a teenager, I didn't realize that there were obviously I realized that there were other ballet companies, but not, like, high-end ballet companies, if that makes sense. Like, more, not just, like, local ballet companies, but, like, less, I don't even know how to describe it.
I know what you mean.
Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Like ABT.
Yeah,
compared to, like there's, like, different tiers. Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
There's not, like, only the top 4 ballet companies.
Exactly.
There's also lots of other
There's
ballet
companies. There's so many ballet companies.
And there's different types that are more, like, might mix in contemporary or other things. That maybe not all just super classical ballet completely.
Yeah. And I think with me being like, I want to join a ballet company, those ballet companies that I was thinking about, I was like, that's going to be my life. Yeah, they do a contemporary show. Yeah, they do this, but it's like, you're going to have to be at studio literally 7 days a week, 6 days a week, right? For hours and hours and hours, just rehearsing, taking class and everything. Where you don't have time to go out and take a jazz class. Or, like, if you do, you want to just go to sleep because you've been at the studio for so long.
And you want to have, like, a little bit of mix.
Yeah, I want to be able, I'm not settling, but, like, I don't know, it just seems, like, so scary. I'm in a ballet company, and then it's like, oh, can I do other things, you know?
Okay.
While still focusing and, like, trying to grow in that ballet company. I think that was my mindset, like, as a teenager. Like, can I still do other things while I'm, like, focusing on becoming, like, a soloist, or, you know?
And that's still kind of your mindset of, like, I don't know if I would do that because I want to do some other things.
And I think that's where I'm like, oh, but there are different ballet companies where it's not so, not that it's not so serious, but it's not so, like,
it's not just like one way of doing it.
Exactly.
But it's just different choreographers or different directors of companies have different visions.
Exactly.
And you never know if there's one you're going to match with well that actually fits with more what you're wanting to do. And there's, like, lots of different choices. Yeah. It's cool. I think it's cool that you're thinking about that. Yeah. In the meantime, like, finding auditions and whatever else you can do.
I want to take voice lessons is the thing. Is that, like, I love a good musical.
I want to do that too. Yeah.
I love musicals, and I love just, like, the choreography within musicals. Like, I love it. Like, I would love to go, like, on a tour. Yeah. Taking, like, Cats.
Oh, my gosh.
That'd be
so cool.
That would be so cool.
I feel like you look great for that.
Thanks.
I feel like you could do that.
But, yeah, I think doing, like, a Broadway tour, or, like, you know, like, a musical tour would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I do also want to just, like, travel and see the world.
Yeah.
And, like, a cruise ship does that.
Oh, my gosh,
like, dancing on a cruise ship, that would be pretty cool.
And you haven't done that yet.
I have not.
I feel like, Sarina, you have so much training, and you're such a good performer, and you actually have so much performance training. Like, you can easily do any of these things. I know people that have done all those things that have less training than you and less performing experience. So I think it's literally just a matter of you, like, finding it or finding the right person that can help you get in the door, or, like, just finding where the audition is, or literally, I think that's your only, like, obstacle, because I feel like you're there. Even if you haven't danced as much this past, like, couple years or whatever, like, I don't even think it matters. It's like you've trained your whole entire life. Yeah. And I just watched you dance in this class, and you're amazing. Like, you're so good.
Thank you.
And like, I feel like the second you just, like, want to perform and get paid for it, you're going to do it. Yeah. I think you just have to maybe decide, like, kind of, like, pick one or find, like, put it more out there, maybe telling more people that this is what you're looking to do.
For sure.
Because I think there'd be lots of people that would want to cast you or book you or help you get that, but maybe clarity on, like, what you want to do. Yeah. Which maybe just takes reflection time. Yeah. Like, or even just what you want to do next. Like, not necessarily what you want to do for your whole life.
For
you might do a cruise. Yeah. Like, okay, that was cool. Now I want to be in a company. Now I want to whatever. So, and actually one of the girls I saw at the performance last night, she is in 2 different ballet companies.
Oh, nice.
And she kind of just like juggles the rehearsal schedule and makes it work.
Yeah.
It's interesting talking to her about that.
Yeah.
Like, there's so many ways you can mix things. You never know if there's a specific type of company that only requires such and such rehearsal days, and you can actually still do other auditions and do other things. And do you feel like currently now in LA that you have a good like dancer community of people that like where you can kind of like help each other in a sense? Obviously it is competitive, but as far as like learning about opportunities and things like that.
Yeah, I feel like this year I've gotten like way more, not in the industry, but like way more in the dance industry, friend-wise and like follower-wise.
Nice.
And like following-wise.
Yeah.
And taking classes wise, everything wise. But I feel like, this year has been like, I've been getting more and more like
cool
friend groups and like community people.
And I think really like one of the big things is just taking class.
That's
different
it.
places.
Different places.
Because you get set with a few people, but they might know you're awesome, but they might not be the one that's going to help you get something that's part of your vision of what you want to do.
Exactly.
So like taking different classes, you might stumble upon a teacher who notices you and is like, oh, I want her for this thing.
Yeah.
Or like, I think just all of that. Like Instagram connection, but then also just taking different classes and like seeing different choreographers that you like. Because the cool thing about LA is so many of the teachers are choreographers, have companies and stuff. So like, see if you vibe in their class, see if they like you there, you know? So I think that I'm excited to see like kind of what's going to happen now that I know a little bit more. Like,
I know I need to, like I said, I just got new headshots done.
Nice.
I need to put my dance reel together.
Yeah.
And then I can start doing like online stuff.
Yeah.
But getting back into it. Like I said, with just a different mindset than before, which is nice.
Yeah.
Completely different mindset, which I'm appreciative of it. Like I like the feeling that I feel, like even if it's like a bad audition, I don't get it, whatever. It was like it was a class.
Yeah.
Like I took a class,
Exactly.
you know, my face was out there, whatever. But I feel like I've also like opened up my door, like my eyes a little bit to like, maybe I do want to be in a musical. Maybe I do want to like go on a cruise ship, or like maybe I do want to do this. Maybe it's not just like I want to go be in a company type of thing.
Yeah.
Like maybe I don't even want to like perform at Disney. Like I've auditioned for Disney so many times. Like would it be? Yeah, it would be cool there. But like, do I want that now? It's like I don't know. You know.
Maybe you want to start your own company.
Yeah, maybe.
Who knows?
Maybe
you're gonna do a company one day that's like a mix of all these different things you love, and you're
honestly,
gonna create it, and you're gonna be like, these are our rehearsal days so that everyone, including myself, can do other things.
Exactly.
Like there's so many possibilities. I feel like dance is, it's an art. So like just your mind can be open to all the different possibilities with it. And I'm glad that it's like kind of becoming like that. You're thinking about all these things.
Yeah, like as a teenager, I was like, I need to make one decision and that's going to be my decision for my career. And it was like that's scary to think about.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people think about that, like, even if you're not a dancer. It's like, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? And it's like, well, what am I going to do? Am I going to be in a dance company? Am I going to be in a ballet company? Am I going to teach? And what's going to happen? But now I'm like, wait, I can do more than one thing. Yeah. That's so cool.
Oh, I'm so excited for you. It's like when I see, like, talent like you have, and then I'm like, wait, why aren't they just getting everything they want, like, tomorrow? I feel like it should be so easy. Like,
I feel like it should be easy, too.
But I think people just need to see you, honestly. Yeah. So go check out Sarina Lowe. Just go, I don't know, look at her Instagram, look at her reel once she puts it up, because once you see her, I feel like people are going to be fighting for you, and you're going to have to make decisions.
Fight for me.
Sarina, this has been so fun.
Yeah,
Was there anything you didn't get to share about that you were just like, I really want to talk about this on the podcast?
I don't think so. I was just trying to remember all the things from class that we took, because I feel like there were some things in class, but I feel like we went over them. Yeah.
Like stuff that Denise said?
Just anything.
To stuff that happened. I don't know. I was trying to think. That was a really good class.
It was a really good class.
I know she gave some good, like, did she give any good, like, tips we could share? What did she say?
She said our only homework for the class was to dance.
Wait, there was homework? I didn't even hear that part.
Oh, you didn't? She said the homework, or maybe not homework, but she was like, what I want you to focus on today is, like, just dance.
Oh,
just
yeah.
dance.
Yeah. That's true. She was like, so you guys are thinking. I just don't think anymore. Just dance.
Just dance.
there are various teachers that say that, and I'm just like, well, you don't really want to see what happens if I don't think at all.
You don't. You really want that?
You don't really want that. But no, I mean, yes, the idea of that for sure. Just like, oh yeah, sometimes I think so hard that I accidentally am going 6, 7, 8, 5, 6, and I'm like actually moving my mouth, and I'm like, wow, Tracy, way to like not keep that in your head at all. You're literally like speaking it as you're like
everyone's
performing.
like, what?
Like, why is her mouth moving? What is she doing? I'm like, I'm literally saying the counts out loud. But I do like that I do like the way she does the counts. They're not like super hard counts, but they're like, she does count.
Yeah.
So it's like, that's nice for me. It's like when the counts get too tricky, I'm like, ah. But when they don't do any counts, I'm like, okay, I don't know what's happening.
Yeah.
But she had like some pretty like, it was a lot of like repetitive the way she did the counts. I'm like, I like these counts. These are
I
nice.
feel like her choreography always matches her music like so nice. It's like it feels just so genuine from the music.
Yeah, that's what I think made it like easy. It wasn't easy, but it was like easier-ish because like it flowed, the choreography flowed so well with the music.
Yeah.
And it always kind of had this like ending on 8-1.
Yeah.
Like,
where you can like hold it at the end.
So I'm like, oh, here's the next 8-1. We're like kind of holding this thing. It just like felt really like sometimes choreographers like have cool choreography, but it doesn't feel as natural. Like it sometimes doesn't flow, or maybe it just doesn't flow for me or something. But I felt like hers was just, I'm like, wow, this just really flows.
Yeah,
it's
like
so
it was the
nice.
perfect song for that movement.
What was the song? Do you know what it was?
Open Hands.
Open Hands.
By...
It's like I recognized it, but I couldn't think of who it was.
Ingrid Michaelson? I don't think that's right. Open Hands.
Open Hands by somebody.
By someone.
Look it
Find it.
up. Well, Sarina, thank you so much for taking the time on this beautiful, apparently really hot Sunday all of a sudden. And I am excited to see like what company you end up joining or cruise you end up going on. Not going on. Well, you could also.
Well, I could go on a cruise
too. You could
too.
just go on a cruise too, but might as well get paid for it. If
you might as well. Yeah.
Might as well dance the whole time because nobody wants to be on a cruise not dancing. Anyways.
Exactly.
So, we'll have to like. Hopefully, you can keep us posted.
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna put a link to her IG and we're gonna see what happens with Sarina's life, and I'm pretty sure it's gonna be cool. And I'm so glad that you're like back into it.
Me too.
Going strong, healing, and just.
Yeah.
Trying everything you want to try, musicals, whatever. So thank you guys for listening. If you didn't already know Sarina, hopefully you're glad you do now and you're looking for her and going to see what happens. So we will talk to you next time. Bye.
Bye.